ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, hello, everybody. No, this is not Thursday. No, you do not have the days of the week mixed up. You're not having a stroke or something. It is Tuesday night, and it's so nice to be with you here on a Tuesday, a random Tuesday, a week where you get to see my face I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you have to see my face 3 times. Hey everybody, my name is Robert Bannon and you're watching the Roundtable. We're doing this on a special day and a special occasion because we have the director of the Obie winning sensation that is Ain't No Mo and it's playing at the Belasco, and it had a shocking closing notice. And we're trying to save the show. And when the publicist and the team behind the show reached out, I had already. My glasses are so crooked. I had already been so excited to be able to talk to them. So we're going to wait for Stevie-Walker Webb is going to be here in a moment. How's everyone doing? Can I tell you about the shows this week? If I keep touching it, it makes it worse. Can I tell you about the shows we have this week? Tomorrow, as my dogs bark, tomorrow we have a really wonderful show. It's the best theater that's happening in New Jersey. So if you're my Jersey friends, we have a really fun show. Hey, Christine, thank you so much for your love on this chilly Tuesday. It's cold here in New Jersey. Cold here in Jersey. We have a really wonderful show tomorrow. Erica Henningsen, who's playing Joy Mangano, Joy of like HSN, QVC, whatever home shopping network she was on. They made a movie about her life. She is going to be here tomorrow. She did the interview in my classroom with my students. You may have remembered her. She opened and starred in Mean Girls, the musical. She created the lead role on Broadway for Mean Girls. So now she's creating the role of Joy Mangano, and it's playing right now at George Street Playhouse. So she'll be here tomorrow, as well as Lauren Keating, who's directed a version of A Christmas Carol, which is playing at McCarter in Princeton, one of the most famous legendary theaters that's ever been here in New Jersey. So I'm very excited to be able to talk about that with them tomorrow. You need to see it. It'll be fun. It'll be uploaded and be available for you to watch at midnight tonight. Then on Thursday, we're back live, super live. So on Thursday's the day you'll get your weekend review and your Hey Friend Hey and your shameless plug will be on Thursday. So we have with us on Thursday the best of Broadway. We have my friend Crystalline Lloyd, who you've seen her in tons of theater. She will be here to talk about 1776, as well as the Band-Aids from Almost Famous, which is playing right now on Broadway. So if you want to see Almost Famous on Broadway, or you want to see 1776, or see any fun theater that's going on in New York City over the holiday break, if you're traveling or if you're visiting family or friends, or if you're off from work like me, we'll be here tomorrow and Thursday to talk about great tri-state area art. The whole point of tonight's show, as we're going to wait a moment, he will be on in about 5 or 10 minutes. He's looking for a place. So we're just going to give him some time. Give him a moment. And we are live, so we're going to talk. So what we're going to do, he's at the theater. So if you're at the Belasco Theater and you have a show tonight and Lena Waithe is doing a talk back and tomorrow RuPaul is coming, we're going to just roll it out together. Next week, we have a really fun show as well. These glasses are driving me crazy. Do you want to know why? My dog ate the one, hence why they're crooked. So Clarence, my dad's dog, who I've been watching, ate the one. You know how expensive glasses are? Hi, Adeline. How are you, friends? Good to see you here. So next week, we have a really great show of legends. Some people who have been in this business for about 180 million years. Mindy Sterling, who is from Austin Powers, who was on the Goldbergs, who has been on a little bit of everything. Mindy Sterling will be here, and she's going to be a trip for sure. She's going to be a whole bunch of fun. And then we also have Eileen Graff. Eileen Graff has been doing theater and television forever. She played Bob Uecker's wife on Mr. Belvedere, and she's done every television show, Broadway show, Promises, and Grease. the original Grease with Barry Bostwick on Broadway. So Eileen Graff is going to be here. She's a show in New York City on the 28th of December. So if you're around and can check it out, I want to go see her show. But I so happen to be singing at New Jersey Devils Pride Night. The Devils are celebrating Pride on the 28th with a sold-out game, 20,000 people against the Boston Bruins. So I better learn the words, is what I'm saying. So we better learn the words. While we're here talking about upcoming shows, you want to know more? And then in between Christmas and New Year's, I'm working the red carpet at I've worked the red carpets and I've worked press events. But I'm not worked Broadway opening red carpet. Oh no, lattes is expensive. They're expensive. That's the problem. Be careful. No more dogs here. But I haven't got new glasses yet. I worked the red carpet at other events, but I'm working the collaboration, which is pretty high fancy red carpet. Like it's Paul Bettany, it's Jennifer Connelly is going to be there. It's my friend Jeremy Pope, who we go back. So I'm excited to see him. I see the show on Sunday. So I'm super excited to be able to see the show on Sunday and then go talk to them all on Tuesday. I'll be on the red carpet. So we'll have that all put together in a big giant show. And hopefully that's a new type of show we'll be doing as well as who can just continue. I dominate multimedia, like move over Howard Stern. We're here and we're not going anywhere. So that will be and then we'll be doing a 1-year show the first week of January. Can you believe we've done 50 shows as of this week? 50 shows of the regular show, 25 Roundtable Talks, which started halfway through this run. So we've done over 75 hours of conversations together. We've had over 200 guests on this show. And when you include the pandemic show, Quarantine Cabaret and Cocktails, that I did, we're talking about almost 400 hours of interviews. And it was something I never thought I was going to do. It was never something that I intended to do. It was something that I dreamed of doing as a kid. I used to announce my brother's football games and stuff, but I never thought that the people who come on to talk to me would ever come on. And it's been such a wild ride, and it's thanks to the numbers and views that you guys give me and get. So while I have you here and we talk and vamp for a few minutes, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you have a friend who loves art and theater and wants to be entertained by my kooky craziness, you can just forward this to them. And you could always check out more information about little old me at robertbannon.com. I don't, my ride or dies that are here are going to say promote my live shows. I do have live shows. I do sing. It's a lot of chatting. And you know what's funny though, Christine? And thank you. Thank you, Lattes. You know what's funny? It's a lot of chatting, but it doesn't feel like 400 hours. It doesn't feel like I've interviewed 500 or 400 people. It feels like a blessing because everyone has been really nice. There has been no one. Have I had a bad interview? Yes. And I've had tough interviews. They're usually drag queens. They're hard. They're hard interviews sometimes. Some of them have been like pulling teeth, and some of them are a little raunchier than I think the show should probably be. But they're still nice. God. That's all I'll say for now. So the first week of January, Robbie Roselle, who is the A&R director of Broadway Records and is a cabaret superstar himself and has directed, it will be here turning the tables on me. He'll be interviewing me, and he'll be doing a Robert, This Is Your Life extravaganza where he's going to talk about what I've done over this past year, and I'm sure he's going to invite people on. All of this is terrifying to me and exciting and terrifying. So I'm looking forward to that in January. So we have a lot of fun shows coming up and a lot of great guests coming up in January. Dominique Marceau, who is a great writer, is coming on. James I. James, who's got Fat Ham coming out, is coming on. Cindy Williams of Laverne and Shirley, legend, is coming on. Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC is coming on. There's a lot of people, plus the Broadway, plus the theater, plus the music, plus the everything. So just bear with me. Hang on tight. I'm pulling back, even though it doesn't seem that way. on some of the reaching out and getting interviews done because I need the time out. So on the 20th, when I do the interview for the collaboration and I work that red carpet, we edit that. I'm not working or interviewing or doing anything on from that 23rd, that last show before the holiday. There will be a show between Christmas and New Year's, but it will be taped because timeout. Then we're going to all hit 2023 with gangbusters. You know, the reason we started this the show tonight is called Ain't we're saving Ain't No Mo is, and I feel ridiculous saying it because I just don't say it great. I went and saw it. Thank you to my friends at OMDKC who gave us tickets and let me go see it. Me and my friend Mosiah Munsami, who is an amazing creator and filmmaker and artist. He was my plus one, and we went over to the Belasco, and the show blew my mind because, you know, race relations, especially queer people of color. And this show is for, it should be seen by everybody, but people of color, queer people of color, the queer community in general, seeing what this show, it's like vignettes, it's like little comedic bits of what society looks like. And it's so well done. And the acting is so well done that I can't wait to talk to Stevie-Walker Webb about what it was like to put this all together, because it does not look like it's easy. And I think there's a greater conversation here about equality on Broadway and race relations on Broadway and how we market Broadway and who the audiences of Broadway is. Because even though we think it's changing because we see younger people or there's more shows of color, it's not unless you have Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson in a show. It's a risk. It's a financial risk to put on a show like this, and I think it's worth the conversation to continue to create new art. Art is supposed to be experimental, especially theater. So we should have him on in any moment, as he's looking to get a quiet place inside his theater at the Belasco, which is a cool theater. It's a neat theater for sure. Let me see what I've got else going on. So if you want to, while I have you here, if you want to grab tickets to see Ain't No More on Broadway, go to this website right here. You can get your tickets. The show is supposed to be open until Sunday, and I know it's made a lot of buzz and news. It's been across all the press outlets this week about trying to save the show. And if you want to go see the show or gift, the tickets are lower priced than a lot of Broadway shows. They're like $50. In a lot of ways. And I highly, highly recommend it. And before Stevie gets here, you can always follow Stevie on Instagram at Stevie-Walker Webb. And he's a brilliant person, and he's just getting started. So watch out. You'll see him here first. I deserve a break. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to. You know what's scary? Now I'm riffing. So I've been riffing for 15 minutes, but you know what's scary? What's scary for me is I've been going for the past few years at such a pace, and things have continued to grow. And I always think that this month will be the end. You know, January is going to slow down. February is going to slow down. March is going to slow down. May is going to slow down. June's usually not slow, but I keep thinking that we're going to stop. And I did that in December. The first week's busy. The second week's slow. The third week's slow. The second week got busy. The fourth, and I have not been able to find the balance. So it's been really my mantra to try to find balance of how to do the theater and the art and see the shows and create shows and also do this show and teach my students has been a juggling act, and have a personal life and family and friends. And I'm not great at it. So we're working on that for 2023. So it's gotten so bad that when I sit down to take a break, like last night, I got home around 8:30 and I didn't have anything to do. And I put on Abbott Elementary on Hulu, or I put on Wednesday or something to just watch the time. I can't sit still because I feel like there's always something that I'm supposed to be doing. And that's not healthy. That's not normal. That's the complete opposite problem if I sat home all day and just, so I definitely am trying to work on that in my new year. Do you have New Year's resolutions? Do you do that? I don't usually do it. I don't like New Year's. Is that blasphemous? Can we get rid of the dogs for New Year's? Because I don't think that they like, but I do believe in intentions and setting an intention for sure. Um, so I believe in that. The roundtable shows have a bit of entertainment, inspiration, information, a great mix. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. That's why it's so sweet that you watch. And hi, mom, out there in North Carolina. I really appreciate that. We try to be fun, but we try to also give some substance and hopefully inspire us. And I'm inspired by each and every one of you that watches every single week as well. You're all so wonderful and supportive and sweet, for all the love you share with me. Speaking of inspirations and shows, as these lovely people have been telling you, June 2nd is on my next show. So we're here. And we have a point and a purpose today. We're going to talk about theater and art. And as my unprofessional dog is barking in the background, right in front of, it's who cares? It's an Obie Award winner. He's heard dogs bark before. We have a wonderful. I had to see a really wonderful, amazing show. The show is called Ain't No More, and it's on Broadway, and it's at the Belasco. And we're here to save the show and talk about the show and have a greater conversation about why the show is important and why we all need to save this art. This art is for the queer community, for the artists of color, for anyone out there right now. This is a show that I highly recommend. I had the chance to see it last week, and I am super honored to speak to Stevie-Walker Webb, because Stevie-Walker Webb is somebody who teaches at Harvard. He teaches at NYU. Hi, Tony Campbell. I see you. And he's going to be here with us. He popped on. We have a little sound issue, and he will be on in a moment. I'm still trying to figure out to balance the virtual shows and all the fab people I've met. And now most things are back in real life. Not easy. Still working on it. I agree with you. Super easy. Stevie, I see you. And I'm really excited because this show is something that is special, and we're going to talk to Stevie about it right now. Stevie, can I bring you on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here he is, Stevie-Walker Webb. Listen, I'm going to get right to it because you have a busy day. you thank you for slumming it. That is Harvard NYU professor right there, Stevie-Walker Webb, slumming it with us right now. This show, I saw the show last week. I brought an artist friend of mine, his Musaya Munsami, who writes beautiful work, and we went and we left, and I had all the feelings and he had all the feelings, and we had this amazing conversation about race, about art, and the place that it holds in theater. Congratulations on this piece. It makes you feel you laugh and cry and feel and think, and it's beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about why and what we can do to support this show, and what we can do to get the word and conversation out about theater and art like this on Broadway or around the country?
Man, I thank you for giving me a platform and space to talk about this play. I love this play so much. It's been a labor of love. Jordan Cooper is, my best friend, and we've just spent so many years working on the show together, and so it's really a gift to be able to talk about it again. First thing that you can do is, if you haven't seen it, you can go out and buy a ticket. You can go and purchase a ticket. You can get discounted tickets. You can pay full price if you want to, whatever suits your fancy. But go see the show. If you've seen the show and you can afford to sponsor someone else to get a ticket, sponsor someone to see the show. I would even say if you've seen it once, see it again, because it's so rich. It's such a Russian doll. There's so many layers to the story and to the message. So you could see it again, and please post about it. Put it on your social media. Talk to your friends about it. Talk to your family about it. Get the word out, so that we can save Ain't No More.
Well, it's posted. We're posting. We're going to talk. We're going to keep sharing this. Everybody, go share it. I know you have some pretty heavy hitters in the house tonight. You have Lena Waithe in the house tonight.
Amazing. Yeah.
RuPaul in the house tomorrow. Will and Jada bought an entire theater. I mean, these are people who know art and culture and see the value in this. Anyone that goes, Stevie, will see the value in this production. How long have you been with the show? When did you first read this show?
Oh my goodness, I'm really bad with years. I think we did our first production of it. Was that in 2018 or 2017 at the 2018. We did a workshop. We started workshopping it though in 2017, I believe. But Jordan started writing the play, kind of like in that space between Obama and Trump, when President Obama was elected, and I think all Americans, but especially Black Americans, we had this hope that our country was going to somehow right itself for good, that we were moving into this post-racial society. And so, and under Obama's, tenure as president, that's when the Black Lives Matter movement found its legs and came into being. And so that's when this conversation about police brutality became a part of the national discourse. And so in the shadow of that, all of a sudden, Donald Trump becomes the president of our country. And I think that Jordan talks about needing to know how to grapple with the rage and the disappointment. And Ain't No Mo was born, in the shadow of those national events. And it really was his way to kind of address his disappointment and his sorrow. But he does it with comedy, because he's so funny, and he's so, as a person, such a bubbly, effervescent spirit. And so he took that and transformed it into something satirical for us all to both laugh and cry and learn from.
Well, the second it starts, when you watch the first, without giving this away, but when you watch the first scene, there's a moment of where are we going, and then you get where we're going, and the vignettes, the sketches, or I don't know what you call scenes, are so. Firstly, the acting on stage is bananas. It's beyond. This cast
Yes.
is beyond, and the versatility that they all show with the differences, and it's a full range of emotions. I mean, you deal with the justice system, you deal with health services, you deal with obviously with race and pop culture, and you literally go piece by piece into what we as a society are seeing, slices of it, and politics. When the opportunity for a show, there's been so much noise made about, making theater, especially Broadway, that has a diverse audience, and the shows that are on it look like this country, and see all different voices. Then these shows come out. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say how I feel. They don't get support. They don't get the marketing. They don't get the money. They don't get the rich white audience that goes to theater. They're not interested. How can we, Stevie, as a community that creates art that matters, if it's the queer community, if it's women, if it's the trans community, if it's artists of color, is it just supporting? Is it writing? Is it acting? What do you think we can do to continue to create works? Like, it's not a movie remake, reboot. It's an original work. That's what this is supposed to be about. What can we do?
I mean, again, like I said, I think, like, in this moment, I guess if I'm honest, I'm a little bit in crisis mode, because I want the show to have the longest life possible. So in this moment, it's like all I can really think of is like just it's amplifying the message of this play and its importance, and people telling people to go get tickets. But as the dust settles, and as we get a little bit of traction, or maybe even some distance from this moment, I'm already beginning to ask myself, what can I do as a theater maker, as a member of this industry? Who are the people that I should be in conversation with? I think that there's a huge problem that the arts are so underfunded in our country. If you go to you go to London, you go to Europe, there are countries where where the arts are really supported, and so it's just like, but here in America, the arts just they're not supported like they should be. And so I think that there's a much larger conversation that needs to happen around, as an industry. We as an industry kind of need to lock arms and take this perhaps even to the steps of the White House, take this to the floor, of the legislators, because art is so important. Culture shifts not just through bills that are passed or legislation, but through contact, through giving people opportunities to experience empathy and compassion for people who are both alike and unlike them. And so that's why Animo is so important, because it's giving a real intimate picture of what Black life has been like in this country, in the last 10, 15 years. It's really looking at the things that Black people are facing and trying to survive. And so it's just so important that people get to look at that. And I think one other thing I want to say about this moment, I think it's so important that we use the language of the future, the language of the next moment, which is like people are saying, maybe Broadway isn't ready. I disagree. I think Broadway is ready. I think audiences are ready. I think our industry does want plays like K-pop and Ain't No Mo to be able to survive on Broadway. The question is how, and unfortunately, I'm just be honest. I don't have enough information about, you know, what the what is and what the how is, but I do know that in this moment my ears are open in a way that they've never been before, and I'm really trying to understand the pulley system that is Broadway to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen to the next playwright, the next production.
I hear you. Amen to that. I hear you totally. My question about the show, if we can take a moment to talk about directing this piece, which is heavy, and there's some heavy scenes, and that's some heavy work that's being done on that stage. The end, without me giving it away.
Well, tour de force, man.
I mean, there are moments where I'm busted out laughing. The audience is yelling and cackling and screaming and out of their feet, and music is playing, and there's such joy. And then it takes you on a roller coaster ride. And when I left, and I know it's intentional on your point, damn you, Stevie. When I left, I walked, it was dead silent. It is such, and that awkwardness, it was a moment where I had a conversation with my friend. This is just my take, and I could be wrong. I thought to myself, that is what everyone that doesn't look like me experiences all of the time. I left there like, ooh, I feel, it ends on such a note. You created such this environment, intentionally, from the second we sit down to the second we end. What do you want us to take away? What is the message of this show when we leave this theater, in your opinion?
Well, first, Robert, I just want to appreciate so much you lifting up the silence that happens at the end of the experience, because it's more of an experience than it is a traditional play, and because this play is so loud, it's so raucous. You come in and I mean, it feels, it has the energy of a musical to me. Like you come in and it's like boom, right out of the gate. There's like audience interaction. There's music. There's like information overload. There are big laughs, and you're just every 10 minutes the scene and the story changes, and so you're constantly having to reorient yourself as an audience member. And it's so noisy in the most joyful way. It's like a joyful noise. It's raucous as hell. And then you find yourself at the final moment, which is in the directing of it. I try my best to not let any air in the play. I want it to feel like it's a train that is going to run off the rails, and you put your seatbelt on and you're praying that that it doesn't. And so you're really kind of watching the play to see how long the train can stay on the track. And when it finally does, have that moment at the end, you're able to hopefully sit and be reflective. And so I think that as a director, my job was just to make the play move at the speed of fun, like just make it move faster and louder than any critic could ever interpret it. Just let it go and trust Jordan's writing, and trust that, like, I don't need to make the play make sense in every single moment, because life doesn't make sense in every single moment. And trust the actors and their instruments, and not be saying, oh, I need you to pull back, but instead say, go further, because who knows when a story like this will get an opportunity to be heard at this level. So it's like everyone on that stage is going for broke. Those actors are going for broke. The writing is going for broke. And so it's like, and the most joyful thing about it is watching traditional Broadway goers sit next to people who normally don't go to Broadway, because this play is bringing in a completely different audience. And watching those people learn to experience theater together in a brand new way. I mean, like Augusto Boal is someone I study a lot, and he doesn't like the word spectator. He uses the word spect actor. That when you come to a play, that you have a responsibility to act back at the play. And it's so wonderful watching the audience like literally become scene partners in different moments in this show. It's really special, man.
It's a special energy. From the second you walk in with the music playing to the second you sit down to the second it ends. It is an experience. It is truly an experience. This group of actors and artists right here.
I love those people.
are are so incredibly talented. I mean, they are so incredibly talented. And then Jordan, what a performance! I mean, take away the fact that it's written by Jordan, then the performance and that is specific role, if you've seen the show, is so unique. There's such a nuance to that. It's really a monologue. His whole part of the show is him. It's it's funny and it's heartbreaking and wow.
Can I tell a secret?
Please,
I've never said this out loud. Jordan might kill me for saying this, but I've
please.
always, as someone who like really loves him dearly and have watched him work on this piece for so long. I mean, I have to say, I always tell people it really fell out of him, like as a whole thing, as a complete thing. He barely did any rewrites. I barely did any dramaturgy on it. It was so perfect when it came out, to be perfectly honest. But the thing that has been so beautiful is watching him. Jordan and I are both from Texas. We're both from the Bible Belt. Watching him find Peaches and allowing Peaches to possess him so that he could explore aspects of his queer identity that he had never had the courage, never had the space, never had the opportunity to embody before. I mean, he's become such a more radicalized, more liberated individual because he has to put on that makeup and that costume and those heels, and he has to walk around as Peaches, this drag queen who's fearless, and it's like, and we're two guys that come from a state where that kind of freedom isn't always celebrated. And so, like, along with all of the conversations about race in America that are so necessary, it's really beautiful watching this Black drag queen, this effeminate body, this character, be at the center of this story. And she's not your typical, just like, I'm here to entertain you drag queen, but she's actually here to educate you, to teach you, and to grow you up and to challenge you. And it's just beautiful watching Jordan be stretched as a human being by the entity that is Miss Peaches.
Well, everyone has a moment. Everyone has a moment of vulnerability, but that moment at the end that Jordan as Peaches has, that ending,
Yeah.
that is a heavy weight to carry every night for the greater good of the piece and for the art and society that it is truly mirroring. It is a tour de force across the board. While I have you here, before I let you go and put on your show on Broadway and have this night, you are somebody who really puts their art and their money where their mouth is. Can I ask you personally, how is your family? How is your brother? I mean, and if you don't know, Stevie-Walker Webb's brother was incarcerated in solitary. You had a protest about it over this. Can you tell us a little update about that and the fight that you have fought for mental health? And I can't, for me, I've watched documentaries about this. I've watched the cases in New York. It breaks my heart as an educator and can you tell us a little bit about how he is and what's the update, if you don't mind?
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely in a much better place, and I can never overthink um, everyone who showed up to support my brother, whether or not they watched that 24-hour demonstration or donated for his legal defense and for him to have access to the proper mental health care. But he's in a better place. He's back to making his music. And he's my brother is he lives with my parents because of his mental illness is really it's such that he needs constant support in that way. But he's in a safe place. He's in a place where he's loved. And I thank you for asking about him and even giving me a space to talk about Hundreds of Thousands, which is an arts advocacy organization that I continue to work to try to keep that on people's minds and to be looking for opportunities to not only like protect and champion my brother, but there are literally hundreds of thousands of people all over this country who are wrongfully incarcerated due to mental illness, who need care and not cages. And anytime that I can talk about that, I put my energy, my money, my talent, my resources toward that message, I absolutely want to. And as soon as I'm in this feverish moment. But as soon as I get an opportunity, I can't wait to turn like my energy back to that work because it's so important. Ain't No Mo definitely addresses that too. There's a scene in the play, the second to last scene, you get to look at a woman who's a Black woman who's been wrongfully, she's been incarcerated, and she spent, you know, many years in a small cell, and you get to see her grapple with what life would be like after she's been released. And I can't, working on that scene was really difficult for me, because I couldn't look at that character Blue and not see my brother, and not see literally the hundreds of people that I've met and heard stories from all over this country who have faced that exact same moment. And so the play is brilliant. It's necessary. My brother is better, and I need people to go buy tickets and see the show so we can keep having these conversations.
Well, but the tickets are right here. Go get your tickets. Make sure you get your tickets. Share your tickets. If you don't live in this area and you have a couple of bucks, buy a ticket and donate it to somebody who can see it. Stevie-Walker Webb, my little platform is yours. If I can ever amplify a voice, you are the future. You are the light, and you are going to create art that means so much to so many communities. And I will be following and sharing it. I'm so moved by your organization and the story about your brother. Anything I could ever do, I'm going to have to reach out and be like, I will go out and walk the streets with you, because it's so important in this country to make changes for the best. Congratulations on this. Fight the fight. We're going to get this out there as much as we can. And I'm so excited to see how this is and what's to come. The best is yet to come, truly. Thank you for moving me and giving me such beautiful experience in the theater. It means a lot.
Thank you, brother.
Have a great show tonight. Thank you so much. That's Stevie-Walker Webb, everybody, who is, if you can go get your tickets to Ain't No Mo on Broadway.com. Go find this right now. Everybody that watched tonight, thank you. It's a show that's worth seeing. It's a show that's worth talking about. It's a show that you need to check out. So get your tickets, share it, and show it with a friend today. It's playing right now at the Belasco, and I'm telling you, it's got my full recommendation. Not that that means anything, but I mean it. Everybody, make sure you join us tomorrow. We'll be up at midnight. We have a great show for you all with the best art in Jersey. And then on Thursday, we will be live, and I have a great show for Lynn Lloyd, and the Band-Aids from Almost Famous are going to be here. Thank you all for joining me on a Tuesday night. Go enjoy your night. Go watch Jeopardy. Thank you. God bless you all. See you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.